Okay, so let's talk about something you probably never thought you'd hear in the same sentence: blockchain and the Postman. I mean, it sounds like a weird combination, right? On one side, you've got the U.S. Postal Service, an institution that's been around for literally centuries. And on the other, you have this super futuristic tech that powers things like cryptocurrency. What on earth could they possibly have to do with each other?
Well, that's the big question here, isn't it? Why is this old school institution, the one we all associate with mail trucks and paper letters, suddenly looking into the technology that powers Bitcoin? The answer, it turns out, is surprisingly fascinating, and it tells us a whole lot about the future of trust itself.
So to really understand this connection, we first have to get on the same page about what this technology even is. And that means we need to look past its most famous use, Bitcoin, and see what's actually going on under the hood.
Yeah, it all kicked off back in 2008. This mysterious person, or maybe it was a group of people, we still don't know, using the name Satoshi Nakamoto, released this new thing called Bitcoin. It was described as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system.
But here's the thing. Just like with Napster and the early days of digital music, the real revolution wasn't the first application. It was the technology that made it all possible. And for Bitcoin, that secret sauce, that underlying tech, is the blockchain.
All right, so what is it? At its heart, a blockchain is just a decentralized public ledger. Think of it like a digital record book. But here's the key. Instead of one bank or one company controlling that book, it's shared across a massive network of computers. The whole network works together to verify transactions. No single person is in charge. Here's a cool way to think about it. Imagine you're holding a $100 bill, and attached to it is a complete, visible history of every single time it's ever changed hands. That's kind of what a blockchain does. It creates this transparent, unchangeable record that everyone on the network can see and agree upon.
So how does a transaction actually work? Well, it's basically a three-step dance. Somebody requests a transaction. The network of computers all around the world validates it, makes sure it's legit, and bundles it into a new block. Then, that block is cryptographically locked onto the end of the existing chain. And the most important part? All of this happens securely without needing a bank or any other middleman.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the tech, let's circle back to where we started, the post office. There are 4 really fascinating ideas for how the USPS could put this blockchain technology to work.
First up, and this is a big one, financial services with something called Postcoin. Just imagine, you could walk into your local post office, load up a digital wallet, and then use it for way cheaper and faster money transfers, especially across borders. In the often wild and volatile world of digital currency, the Postal Service could be this trusted, stable presence.
The second idea is all about your digital identity. And this just makes so much sense. You already go to the post office and prove who you are to get a passport. So what if you could do the same thing for your online life? Go to a post office, verify your identity in person, and get a secure digital ID. That could be a huge blow against online fraud and identity theft.
Okay, the third idea is called the Internet of Postal Things. And this is where it starts to feel a little bit like science fiction. Picture a postal truck that knows its own brake pads are wearing thin. It could then automatically order a replacement part and pay for it, all by itself, using the blockchain. We're talking about a radical new kind of efficiency here.
And the fourth idea? Revolutionizing the supply chain. Every single package's journey could be tracked on the blockchain, giving everyone a completely transparent and unchangeable record. You could even use smart contracts, which are basically just bits of code that automatically do something when a condition is met. So, for example, a package crosses an international border, and boom, the customs fee is paid instantly and automatically.
Now, this all sounds pretty incredible, right? But let's have a little reality check. This technology isn't some kind of magic wand. Despite all this potential, there are some pretty significant hurdles to get over before any of this becomes a reality. The strengths are definitely compelling. It can be cheaper, faster, and more private. But the weaknesses are very real. You know, the technology is still pretty complex for the average person to use, security is a huge concern, and governments are still trying to figure out how in the world to regulate all this stuff.
So let's zoom out for a second, because the implications here go way beyond just mail delivery or digital money. This is really a conversation about the future of trust itself.
And you should know, the Postal Service isn't the only one looking into this. Far from it. This technology is gaining some serious mainstream traction, especially in the world of finance.
I mean, just look at this timeline. From back in 2014 and 2015, it was like a gold rush of investment.
You've got huge names here: Goldman Sachs, Visa, the New York Stock Exchange. The entire financial industry was already placing massive bets on blockchain's potential.
Goldman Sachs saw its potential to disrupt not just finance, but everything, from how we notarize documents to how we vote. The core idea is simple: making all kinds of interactions quicker, less expensive, and safer.
Which leaves us with a final and pretty profound question. This technology promises a world with fewer intermediaries, fewer banks, lawyers, and agents that we need to verify things for us. So, in a world where trust is built directly into the code of the network itself, what does that new form of trust actually look like? That's definitely something to think about.